I want each and every last one of you to understand that the God that we serve, he's able. I'm going to talk this morning about the ones that the fire couldn't burn. Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, the ones that the fire couldn't burn. And I want you to know that you living for God, you walk with God, you serve God. There are some things that no matter what the enemy try and do, the devil can't stop you. Somebody say, you can't stop me. Or you ought to give God a praise if you know that the devil cannot stop you. If you would, I want you to open up your Bibles to the book of Daniel chapter 3. And I want you to know that the God that we serve, he's able. And even when you're walking with God, you serve God, you love God. No matter what comes up on the earth, no matter what comes all around you, look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, it shall not touch you. Or somebody give God a praise, say, it shall not touch you. You know what? 10,000 can fall in the right side, but it shall not come nigh thee. All of this that you've been reading in the past and been hearing about and how God is able to move and all these things in the past, now it's time to live your faith. Somebody say exercise your faith. How many ready to exercise your faith? That's what it's all about, exercising your faith. You can have something, but if you don't exercise it, you lose it. See, in other words, that's why they say if you don't use it, you lose it. See, you got to use your faith. God has given you faith to be able to trust him and to believe God for anything. Somebody say anything. And there are so many miracles that's taking place day by day. When you trust God, God will continue doing what he said he's going to do. You walk by faith and not by sight. You trust God in everything and know that God is always moving. Somebody say he's always moving. When everybody else is wondering what's happening, God is doing it in your life. I know God is going to show up in your life. God is going to do some things that the enemy try to block you, but I know the devil can't stop you. Now, I want you to see, with these men of God that would not bow down. Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, you don't have to bow down. Tell a neighbor, say, neighbor, you don't have to bow down. You say, yeah, but preaching the whole world, and everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing this and everybody's doing that. There are some things when you really walk with God for real, you do not have to bow down. You don't have to, take what the enemy try to shoot your way. You don't have to bow down. You can stand for God and know that God is working some things out for you. Somebody say right now. Now, I want you to, pay close attention because you see, the enemy and even in the world was coming up in the world that people are going to get to a place where they almost, pressed to be able to do something and pressed because, the whole world is doing it. Then I got to do this. I got to do what the world is doing. But you got to understand when you're walking with God, you do not have to bow down. You hold on to what God done already told you. How many know that God done already promised you that he's going to take care of you? And how many know God cannot lie? Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, God cannot lie. Fear, I want you to say this, fear is not of God. How many know fear is not of God? And oftentimes right now you got people running in fear and people afraid of everything and all the things that's in the world. The Bible tells me that to be absent from this body is to be present with the Lord. And when you're really walking with God for real, you don't have to, and look, and if you're not sure before you leave here on today, you can be sure. And if you would close your eyes today, that heaven would be your home. You can be sure. Oftentimes people say, well, you can't never really be sure. You can be sure. You can know, the God that we serve according to what his word tells us. You can be sure and you can walk with God and God will show up for you every day. Oftentimes, you know what? And what's happening in this hour when I say all around the world, whatever that is not real, God is allowing it to show up. Look at your neighbor and say, God will let it show up. You see, and judgment is going to begin in the house of the Lord. That's why God is not playing games. Oftentimes people think, well, I tell you what, it's just, you can do whatever you want to do. No. Let me tell you, God is not playing games. I don't care where you live and what side of the world you own. This is the thing. God is getting ready to let people know that I am God. God is going to let the people know that he is God. Even with all the smarts people got and all the wisdom that they think that they know everything, there's always something that'll show up and show you, I need you, Lord, and I need you now more than ever. I guarantee you there will be some people praying like never before. Some people that say they don't even believe in God, I guarantee you they're going to be crying out to God. Somebody give God a praise. See, and this is the thing that we got to understand in everything. You say, well, God, is it that God that allowed these things, God make these things happen? Let me tell you, God has placed us on this earth, and he allowed us, to take dominion and to be over all of these things on the earth. But this is the thing, you see, it's man that will mess up things. And this is the thing, and then they want to blame God. Well, why, if God is God, why he let these things happen? Man mess up a whole lot of stuff, and then they want to blame God. Some of the same ones that mess up stuff, they say they don't even believe in God. But when things will get messed up, they'll say, well, why, if he's a God, then why did God let this happen? You see, if he gives you something to run, if you don't run it, you mess it up, guess what? God will come back and try to help you out. But the thing is, he has placed it in our hands. Look at your neighbor and say, it's our hands. It's almost like somebody will blame the preacher for that if their marriage don't go right. Well, the preacher, he the one that did the way, he made it didn't say something right. No, you got to live this thing. Oh, y'all got quiet now. Y'all got the word preacher. See, they blame the preacher. Well, which was pastor marriage, y'all? Maybe he didn't say the right word. No, pastor going to say what he going to say. He can say right out the Bible. But the rest is up to you. How many know it's up to you? It's the same way God has given us all this. He said, I'm giving you dominion over all of these things. But now guess what? Now you got to do something with it. You got to deal with it every day. Somebody said you wake up every day, you got to deal with it. How many know you got to wake up and deal with it? See, decisions that you make. If you decide that you don't want to, do a certain thing, you don't do it. But at the end of the day, if something go wrong, then you blame God. How many know you can't blame God? If somebody give you a vehicle and tell you this is yours, take care of it. If you get it all jacked up, how many know it's not their fault? They told you to maintain it. They told you to take care of it, subdue it, and have dominion, do all of this. God told you to do this. Now, how many know that's the thing that we got to do? Now watch it, pay close attention. Here, there's Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. There are some things that they were dealing with. In every generation, there's always somebody that want to make themselves a God. And God is always letting you know that, guess what? I don't care who claims to be God and who's over everything. God said, I'll still show people that I am God. How many of God going to show you? Now, you say, well, preacher, can you show me in the Word what are you talking about? When you open up your Bibles to Daniel chapter 3 and you see everything that was going on. They had a king and his name was Nebuchadnezzar. And it says the king made an image of gold whose height was 80 cubits and the breadth, it says thereof 6 cubits. It says that he set it up in the plan of Dura. It says in the province of Babylon. It says then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the princes, the governors and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the consuls, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And how many know that they sent to get all the big dogs? Everybody, y'all come in. Because we done set this thing up. Now y'all coming here to really bow down and worship. This that I've set up. I mean, he had the money, he had the gold, he had all of these things set up. But now in this prophets, he sent them all to come, that they would bow down and worship. It says, and all of these people, that they came in. Now when everything took place, it says, then the princes, it says, and the governors, and the captains, and the judges, the treasurers, the consuls, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the province were gathered together unto the dedication of the image of Nebuchadnezzar. It said the king had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. It says, then an herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages. It says that at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, and the sackbut, psaltery and the clarinet. It says, in all kinds of music, you fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar, the king, had set up. And it says, and whoso falleth not down and worship shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. So now, you in a situation now. Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, there's a situation. And what it is, they're looking at it like, well, now, if we don't bow down, then we're going to be cast into the fire. That's the reason many people give up. Many people get to a place in life saying, well, you know what? Now, I'm at a situation. If I don't bow down, I'm doomed. So I got to bow down. And let me tell you, it was a whole lot of people, and a lot of them, professing that they know God and all of this. But guess what? When pressure hit, look at a neighbor, say, neighbor, when pressure hit. See, that's when you really find out what Christians really are. When pressure hits. Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, when pressure hits. I'm going to show you something. See, that's where you find out where your friends are too. In pressure. I mean, anybody could be a friend. See, when it don't cost you, I mean, anybody could be a friend. But I know it's very expensive to be a friend. That's right. Oh, somebody give God a praise. All right. Somebody give God a big old praise. It is, thank you, man. It is expensive being a friend. I mean, it costs you a lot to be a friend. Yeah, you say, oh, Lord, well, if it's going to cost me, I'm not going to be nobody's friend. See, that means that's why many people don't really have friends. Because you see, when a person is down and in need, how many know, many times it'll cost you to try to help them out. It costs you to do some things. Sometimes you might have something else to do, but it'll cost you. But this is the thing. This is when you find out that you got a real friend, that they're willing to go the extra mile, or to give God a praise and say, I believe God is able. How many really believe God is able? Everything that you need from God, God is going to show up for you. God is going to make ways. But now they're at a place that, you know what, if you don't bow down, you get ready to get thrown into the fire. And this is what happens in the lives of people. And you know what? And you say, but preacher, that was a real fire that was going on. That's why people, they had to bow down. But it's like that in life too, because many times people will look at you and say, well, if you don't do what we do, then we're not going to be with you. It's like getting thrown in the fire. It's almost like, well, you know what? If I don't roll with you, if I don't do what you do, then you know what? You're not going to be my friend. I'm going to know they're not your friends at all anyway. Because if it takes somebody, you have to do what they want you to do to be their friends, I'm going to know that's not really their friend. I'm going to know a friend will respect a friend. Somebody give God a big praise. You say, well, preacher, make me understand how is it that in the midst of a time like this that you could still stand and don't bow. Watch and pay close attention. This is how they did it. And they told them, you know what, when y'all hear the music, you got to bow down. And everything I tell you, he said, if you don't do it, you're going to be thrown into the midst of a burning furnace. Verse 7 said, therefore at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the sackbut, psaltery, and all kinds of music, it says, some of the people, it says, all the people, the nations, and the languages. What happened? They what? They fell down and worshiped the golden image. It said that Nebuchadnezzar, the king, had set up. And verse 8 said, wherefore at that time certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews. They spake and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. He said that, O king, had made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, and then the flute, the harp, the sackbut, the psaltery, and the clarinet, and all kinds of music shall fall down and worship the golden image. It says, and whoso falleth not down and worship, that he should be cast where? Into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. And verse 12 says, there are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy what? Little gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. And verse 13 says, then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach? Thank you, man of God. And Abednego. He said, is it true? He said, do you not serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Somebody give God a big old praise. Somebody give God a praise. Amen. Somebody give God a praise. Those asking, you're not worshiping? Somebody said the Holy Ghost is good. Amen. Brother Benjamin, you heard God. Somebody give God a praise. Somebody give God a praise. God is able to move. I remember God is able. Somebody give God a praise. But what they wanted, they said, well, you know what? I want to know if y'all didn't bow down and worship the image that I set up. And now the king is in a rage. You know why? Because king said, now everybody, y'all supposed to bow down and do what I said do and worship what I told you. But that's why it's important. That's why you get the word early in life. Let me show you something. That's the reason why, while you were, coming to church and getting the word and understanding what the word say, for times such as these. I'm going to tell you, see, sometimes you get in the word, you say, well, I don't really need that right now. It seems like from the beginning of the year, I've been talking about, the just shall live by his faith. Everything been about faith and trusting God and believing God. Now, you might say, well, preacher, what is it we preaching so much about faith? We believe. Right now, let me tell you, it's time to exercise your faith. You're going to have to believe God for everything. You're going to have to trust God that nothing shall come nigh you. You're going to have to trust God that God is already working it out. How many know you got to trust God? Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, I trust God. And this is what was happening with these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were at a place of knowing God. Here it is. Now they're getting ready to make us all bow down and worship. But now I know the word, and I know I'm not supposed to worship anything but God. Somebody praise God. Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, but God. Tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, I'm going to worship God only. And this is the thing now. When people get desperate, right now, when people get desperate, they will almost take anything that somebody's shooting at them. They'll tell people, well, because people are desperate, they're afraid of stuff. But that's why it's important that you know your God. Somebody said, know your God. You see, because here it is, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they realize, oh, king, we're not going to bow to anything but God. And then they were trying to figure out, well, but if you don't, then you're going to get thrown in the fire first. You know what? They were at a place like, they were saying it like this. We're not worried about that. Oh, somebody praise God. See, Christians should be running around fearful like the world. The world is afraid of everything. No, afraid of everything. But you see, as a child of God, you got to know that the God that I serve, if God brought me this far, God can bring me on. Somebody say, God will take me. You got to get to a place in life of knowing that, you know what, I haven't been playing church. I actually been hearing what the word said. I've been living what this word said. I'm walking with God. I'm trusting God. And I know God will take care of me. As for me and my house, we shall serve God. Somebody say, we shall serve God. And that's where you got to get to a place in life where you're not worried about it anymore. See, because don't you know you could worry yourself to death? You can give yourself a heart attack just worrying about what tomorrow is going to bring, and tomorrow is not even here yet. Just thank God for where you are today. You say, God, I'm up another day. I'm going to serve you in this day, God. I'm going to trust you in this day, God. I'm not worried about what tomorrow is going to bring, but I know know that you got tomorrow in control. Somebody praise God. Now here it is, these men. Now you often hear the story of it. This actually happened for real. But you see, many people say, yeah, well, if I was there, I wouldn't bow down either. Guess what they say? They all bow down. All right. That's what I'm trying to make you understand. You see, a lot of people say a lot of times, the mouth and the lips can say a lot of stuff. But you see, when all hell breaks loose, if you haven't put it in your heart already, you won't be ready. Oh, somebody pray that. You gotta already have this in your heart. You gotta believe God with everything already. See, somebody that really know that God, they're not gonna be worried about everything that everybody else worried about. You'll get to a place you say, you know what? That's why I've been praying. That's why I've been seeking God. That's why I've been doing all I can. I give to my God. I trust my God. I believe my God. And God is not gonna lie to me. Somebody pray God. That's why you can have confidence. This is why Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego could have confidence. You say, but preacher, why is it that everybody else bowed down? They bowed down because they did not have confidence in their God. They thought that God wouldn't bring them out. They could have done the same thing. Said, you know what? Well, if they're going to throw them, they're going to throw us all in there. Because I'm not bowing down to anything but God. Look at your neighbors and say, I love God that much. No, watch. You say, we're preaching. You just don't know when you get hot preaching. They're talking about fiery furnace. They're talking about burning you up. I don't know about all of that preaching, but watch. Stay with me. We're going somewhere. Look at your neighbor's neighbor. Get ready now. And all of the things that was happening. It says in verse 12, it says, there are certain Jews, and they say they don't want to bow down to you. Verse 13, Nebuchadnezzar got mad. Verse 14, Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, is it true? Now when you look down to verse 15, he said, now if you be ready, that at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and declamer, and all kinds of music, he said, you fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if you worship not, you shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that God? Somebody say capital G-O-D. He said, that shall deliver you out of my hands. Verse 16, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. You know what they were saying? We're not scared. Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, they say, I ain't scared. Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, they say, I'm not scared. So they say, King, we're not careful to answer you in this matter. We're not even worried about what you're talking about. In so many words, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was looking at the king and look at the king like saying, King, you tripping. Because we serve God. And we're not bowing down to nothing else. Somebody praise God. Look at your neighbor and say, I ain't bowing down to nothing else. And this is what they say, we're not careful to answer thee in this matter. He said, if it be so, our God whom we serve is able to what? Deliver us from the burning fiery furnace. And what's going to happen? And he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. Verse 18. Now what? If you could ever put a butt in something, all right, this is the only place you put a butt. Look what he said now. They say, I know the God that we serve, he's able to deliver us. Look what they say. They say, but if not, we know he's able to deliver us. But if he don't deliver us, watch what they say. Be it known unto you, king, that we will not serve your God. Somebody praise God. I mean, he said, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. He said, then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury. I'm going to know he's mad now. Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, you're really mad now. I'm going to know after you done told the king you ain't doing it. He gives you another chance. You know, most of the time, king ain't giving you no other chance. But he gave them another chance. You know what he wanted them to do? Bow down. See, I know y'all didn't bow down the first time, little partners. But now I know if I give y'all another chance, now all y'all gotta do is bow down. And see, we're not even careful to answer you this night because we know our God. Look at your neighbor. Say, neighbor, I know my God. I don't want you to tell that neighbor like you really mean. Say, neighbor, I know my God. Say, neighbor, if I can testify to you today and tell you all that I've been through in my life and how God keep on bringing me out, how God has made ways and opened doors, I want you to know I'm not scared. God's going to make a way anyhow. Somebody praise God. So I've been through hell and back, but the God that I serve, he has never failed me. Look at you. God has never failed. Or somebody give God a big old praise. Tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, God has never failed me. Times when I was about to give up. Y'all looking around like y'all was never about to give up. Saying, Lord, I don't know how I'm going to make it. God, I love you with everything in me, God. But God, this is a hard one. Just when I was about to give up, God stepped in one more time and tapped me on the shoulder and said, you can make it. Somebody look at your neighbor. Say, neighbor, what a mighty God you serve. See, all the devil was after was putting enough pressure on you for you to give up. You were right at the edge of your miracle. Just when the devil started messing with you the most, you're right at the edge of your miracle. That's the reason why he been fighting you like he been fighting. Why? Because he want to make you give up. He put the fiery furnace in front of you and tell you, I'm getting ready to put you in this. But all you got to do is say, you know what? I'm going to serve God anyhow. Well, somebody praise God. Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, I ain't giving up. Or somebody give God a praise. See? And this is what Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego say. You know what? I done been through hell already. You can't mess with me. Somebody praise God. I done been through enough stuff already. Y'all been putting it on my back already. Y'all been trying to break me all this time. All the devil that done to me, to my family, and all of that. I'm not backing up on God. I'm going to hold on to the unchanged. Look at your neighbor's neighbor. I ain't giving up. This is what Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego say. I'm still not going to bow down. Oh yeah, I had to cry sometimes. Yes, I've been through hell sometimes. But I'm not backing up on my God. God been too good to me. When I weigh all the things that God done for me compared to how the devil messed with me, God is still good to me. Somebody praise God. Or you ought to give God a big praise for being good to you. Look at your neighbor. Say, neighbor, I serve God with everything. Now, after Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego told them, we still not bowing down. We're not careful to answer you all of this, but if you don't, bring us out. Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, we still not bowing down. He said, but if not be known unto your king that we will not serve your gods anyway. Verse 19 now. It says, then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury. It says, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. It says, therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace. He won 7 times more than it was want to be heated. In other words, he said, I'm so mad when the fire was getting ready to burn y'all. I want them to heat it up 7 times. Some of you don't realize that's why the devil heated it up on you. The devil got mad because you wouldn't bow down to him. Oh, somebody praise God. I don't know about you, but I don't know. You might be on 10 or 15 times out of knowledge. It doesn't matter. Because guess what? The fire won't be able to touch you. Somebody praise God. Oh, give God a big old praise. Now what? You say, well, preacher, you don't know what I've been through. You don't know all the things that I've been through. But I want you to see that here it is. He said, I'm going to heat it up 7 times hotter for y'all. In verse 20, watch. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Now look at verse 21. It says, then these men, it says, were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their heads. and their other garments. It says, now watch, I want y'all to see something. And were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, they threw him in. Say, but Jesus was already there. Oh, give God a praise. Say, Jesus was already there. Glory, somebody said Jesus was already there. Oh, somebody give God a praise. Hallelujah. You say, but preacher, you just don't know that it's some bad stuff going on out there now. They got AIDS out there. Now they got that old bad corona. Corona want to get out there. But I want you to understand something. That Jesus is already there. Somebody praise God. Jesus is able to take care. You say that's being foolish, preacher. That's being foolish. No, it ain't being foolish. In other words, take the precautions, do what you got to do. But know this. Know that Jesus, he's not going to lie to you. He's going to work it out for you. You don't do foolish things. But at the same time, just know that your God is able. Somebody give God a praise. You see, yeah, but back then, fire wasn't fire. Can I tell you? Fire was fire back then, and fire is fire right now. But I want you to understand, Jesus was there in the midst of the fire then, and where do you think he is now? Oh, somebody praise God. He's right there. You said, preacher, you got to prove to me that he's still right there. Watch, I'm glad you asked me. Now watch. See, all of the things that they were doing and all they wanted to do was get them to bow down and worship. But here it is now. It's coming to a close now. They done heated it up. They done got it 7 times hotter. And now they're saying, well, now we fixing to throw them in. And the Bible says now the men that threw them in, it says therefore, it says because, it says the king's commandment was urgent. Somebody say it was urgent now. It says, and the furnace exceeding hot. It says the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I mean, the fire was hot now. You know, that was for those later on in life that would say, well, it really wasn't that hot. Let me tell you, it was hot because it burned up those that was getting ready to throw them in. The ones that threw them in, they got burned up. Now watch. You say, well, preacher, how in the world could they get burned up? And it was still throwing them in. Watch, stay with me, we're almost through. It says, and these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down, bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. It says, then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, was astonished. It says, and rose up in haste and spake and said unto his counselor, did not we cast 3 men bound in the midst of the fire? He said, they answered and said unto the king, true, O king. He answered and said, lo, I see what? I see 4. Do the math. They threw 3 in. But now he's looking and he sees 4. That means if you threw 3 in, where did the other one come from? Oh, somebody praise God. He was there all the time. Oh, somebody praise God. Somebody said Jesus was there all the time. He was already there waiting patiently for you. So no matter what you're going through, just know that he's already there. He's waiting. So when you get in, he's going to take the heat out the fire. Somebody look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, the heat out the fire. That king was all messed up in his head. Now he said, oh, wow. Didn't he throw 3 in? But he said, lo, he sounded like a rapper here. He said, lo, I see 4. See, he was rhyming a little bit. He said, we threw 3 in, but lo, I see 4. This is the thing that God will do for you. See, you worried about it before you get there. But he's already there. You was worried about it before you got to the car lot. But Jesus was already there. You was worried about it before you got to the bank. But Jesus was already there. there. You was worried about it before you got to the hospital, but Jesus was already there. You see, and no matter which way it goes, and that's why these men were so confident, because they understood, look, if he don't get me out, I'm already in his hand. Somebody say, God, I'm in your hand. Oh, somebody praise God. God, I'm in your hand. I cannot lose. Somebody praise God. When you are a child of God, look, if God don't let me stay on this earth, if he take me on the other side, I'm still in his hand. Somebody praise. You're looking around like a preacher, you don't know what you're doing. You got to understand. He said, I'm in your hand. Somebody said, God, I'm in your hand. Look at your neighbor's neighbor. God, I'm in your hand. This is what you got to understand. That's why they had confidence. Somebody said had confidence. See, that's why a real Christian, somebody that live for God and walk with God, see, they understand I'm in his hand. Whether I'm on this earth in his hand, or whether I'm with him in heaven, I'm in his hand. Somebody say, I'm in his hand. And this is the thing. That's why Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said, I still will not bow down and worship anything else. I'm going to serve God with everything. Somebody say, I'm serving God with everything. Now watch what happened. Look at your neighbor. Say, neighbor, get ready now. Tell a neighbor, say, neighbor, get ready now. So can you tell a neighbor, say, neighbor, these things that you're going through, God won't let it last too long. You can make it. God is working this thing out right now. Can you just tell him for me that God is working this thing out right now? You got to quit worrying about it. It's already taken care of. Somebody says, it's already done. Tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, it's already done. Say, why are you yet worrying about it? God has already worked it out. Somebody praise God. Take notes from Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They say, but God. They say, if he don't bring me out, say, I'm still ain't gonna worship no other God. Somebody praise God. But he realized that God was working something out. Somebody say, God is working it out. Now watch, I'm almost through. Look at your neighbor. Say, neighbor, get ready now. Tell that neighbor like you really mean it. Say, neighbor, get ready now. Say, don't you dare be afraid. Tell the neighbor like you really miss the neighbor, don't you dare be afraid. Say the devil will mess with you one time too many. Somebody pray. God said one time too many, one time too many. Say enough is enough. Now watch it. This is the thing. He said, now all of these things, he said, now, he answered and said, lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire. And they have what? No hurt. Look at your neighbor, say neighbor, no hurt. No hurt. Watch. It says, and the form of the 4th is like who? The Son of God. Somebody praise God for the Son of God already there. Somebody say he's already there. Verse 26 says, then Nebuchadnezzar came near the mouth of the burning fiery furnace and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, you servants of the Most High God, come forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire. It says, and the princes, governors, and captains, and the king counselors, being gathered together, saw these men, upon whose bodies the fire had no power. Somebody give God a praise. Upon whose bodies the fire had no power. Now why you say, preacher, what? Nor was it half their heads singed, neither were their coats changed. It says, nor the smell of fire had passed on them. Verse 28 said, then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who had sent his angels and delivered his servants that trusted. Somebody give God a praise now. Can you underline that word trusted? In your Bible, trusted. Somebody say they trusted. Even the king realized that they trusted in their God. And these servants that trusted in him and have changed the king's word and yielded their bodies that they might not serve nor worship any God, little G-O-D, except their own God. He said, therefore I make a decree that every people, nation, and language that speak anything amiss against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made a dunghill. He said, because there is what? No other God that can deliver after this sort. It says, then the king did what? Promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. You said, preacher, what a way to get promoted. But how many know when you're walking with God, that no matter what it looks like, just don't bow down. Your promotion is coming. Somebody pray, your promotion is coming. What the devil meant for harm, God will turn it around for your good. Somebody say, God will turn it around for your good. Tell the neighbor like you really mean it. Say, neighbor, God will turn it around for your good. Tell the neighbor, say, neighbor, God is able to work it out. I want you to lift up your hands and say, Lord, I thank you for working it out. How many know that Jesus can work it out? How many really believe that Jesus can work it out? No matter what's going on, how many know he can work it out? Somebody say Jesus can work it out. How many really believe that he can work it out? And I want y'all to understand something after all this happening. I'm sure that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they told the king, we wouldn't bow down to your music. But now what they get ready to do, y'all go bow down to our music. Somebody praise God. Somebody say Jesus can work it out. Can you say it and really mean it? Say Jesus can work it out. Glory to God. Somebody say surely he can work it out. Oh, somebody give God a praise. Give God a praise. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. We're going to find back there somewhere Jesus. Somebody say can work it out. Look at your neighbor. Neighbor, surely Jesus can work it out. Glory to God. Now we're going to show you how Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego start dancing in the king's face and told them how Jesus can work it out. Glory to God. Hallelujah, hallelujah. After they didn't get burned up, after they came out of the fiery furnace, they said, now we can show y'all how to really dance the real song. We're going to bow down to this, knowing that the real Jesus will work it out.